Hello, this is WildKarrde speaking, and in today's episode of Surface Pro 2 Gaming, I re-present to you Project Cars. The last time I made a video with Project Cars on the Surface Pro 2, it was running, but not that well. It wasn't really playable. The frame rate was so bad you pretty much had to guess when the next corner was coming up. And the video was recorded on the California Raceway. The reason for that is because it's the only track I could get the game to run on. It has dirt, sand, dirt, a bush here and there, and that's about it. So the game really, it ran, which was surprising, but it didn't run that good. I always felt that with SMS's optimizations that they were putting into the game and some optimizations I could do to my computer, I could get it running better. And this video is about that. First thing I'm going to do is show you the options I have the game running at. It is still minimum. The game is playable now. I don't have any tool on my Surface Pro to gauge the frame rates, but I feel it's probably running at about 25 to 35 frames per second. That's with everything turned off though, as you can see. The game is playable, and I'm happy with that. It actually looks pretty good too, but I don't have anything turned on. I could probably optimize a couple of things a little bit more, but I feel like the loss in frame rates probably wouldn't be worth it. Now, as I mentioned before, the previous video that I did with Project Cars was on California Raceway. This video is going to be on California Highway. It is a very detailed track, lots of trees, lots of buildings, lots of signposts, lots of foliage, lots of sun effects, which actually won't be showing for the most part because I have those turned off. But it's one of the most detailed tracks in the game. And the last time that I ran Project Cars on the Surface Pro 2, I had to run solo. I couldn't have anything else on the track. As you can see here, I'm actually going to have 5 opponents, so a total of 6 people are going to be on the track. I could probably bump that up a bit, but it just complicates the video and it makes it a lot harder to make a good video. So I'm just going to be doing 5. As I've mentioned in almost all of my Surface Pro 2 gaming videos, it's hard to control the game because I record this from a box to keep all the extra light out of the picture. I'm recording this with a iPhone 5S, so the picture quality is already going to be a little bit worse, and so I built this box to make it look as good as possible. Because of this, I'm not actually going to be racing the car. I'm going to just put it in the simulation mode. That way you can see a good race without me messing up the controls. I started the player car in last place so that you can get an idea of how well the game runs with cars around you, in front of you, behind you, mirrors on. That is one of the visual options that I did not turn off, is the mirrors. As you can see, the game is actually running quite well. I have played around with the game a little on my own with the Xbox 360 controller. It's not a great controller compared to a G27, which is what I normally drive the game with. But I can confirm the game is playable. The game has such a great frame right now that, you know, it's not amazing, but it's definitely playable. I could hook my G27 up to my Surface Pro 2 as well, but the whole point of the Surface Pro 2 is to be portable. And a Logitech G27 with a 3-pedal setup and 8-shifter, as well as the wheel, is not compatible at all. It's bigger than the whole Surface Pro 2. So I doubt that I'll be playing this with G27 anytime soon. They have done a good job on the Xbox 360 controls, though. I do have to give them credit for that. I'm not practiced in driving with a controller anymore, but I'm sure that anybody who is, they'll find it challenging, but it's definitely manageable. The settings I changed on my computer were all in the power settings. I didn't do any third-party overclocking or anything like that. But what I did do was set it up so that the processor will be running at 100% at all times when plugged in. The computer is plugged in right now, and the processor was running at 2.4 gigahertz with absolutely nothing running on the computer. So it's full-blown. I didn't want any lag in the processor spooling up whenever the game started demanding more from it, so 100% all the time, and that's what seems to work. I played the game a little on power saver mode, which has the variable processor power and Intel graphics power and that sort of thing, and the game ran much worse. It probably cut the frame rates in half. So if you're going to play this game on the Surface Pro 2, you need to have it full-blown, everything on all the time. And just as an interesting side note, I mentioned the Intel HD graphics. The Surface Pro 2 does not have dedicated graphics. It has an Intel HD graphics card. A good one, granted, the best one they've ever made, by far, but it's still an Intel HD graphics card. So, as amazing as it is that SMS was able to make this game run on the Surface Pro 2, it's even more amazing that Intel made a graphics card that can run this game, and it's integrated. Now that's not to say that the Intel card runs the game perfectly. There are some graphics glitches here and there. I was watching a replay in the TV Spectator mode, and there were places, not on this track, but on Belgian Forest, where the ground was not showing, it was transparent, and at one point the wheel on my Mercedes had gotten damaged, and instead of looking damaged, it just disappeared. You saw a brake disc rotating, and the car was just hovering on 3 wheels. So it's not perfect, but in the driver's view, as you can see, it's pretty close to perfect. I'm going to run the spectator mode after this race so that you can get a taste of that as well. I don't know what to expect because I haven't tried California Highway with the spectator mode yet, but I expect it'll run fairly well. And as you can see, the game still looks absolutely fantastic, even with everything turned all the way down. It surprises me, to be honest. I could probably get a few more frame rates out of the game if I went to 720p, which might be something I'd look into if I want to race against more people or turn on weather, that sort of thing. I haven't tried weather settings on the Surface Pro 2 yet. Might follow up with that in another video if they turn out to run fairly well. But right now the game is running at 1080p, and it looks just stunning. Although I doubt on such a small screen that 720p would make much of a difference. One thing I noticed about Project Cars when I was running a CPU stress test in some other videos is that the game runs as well as it's going to at all times based on how many cars are on the track. If there's 32 cars on the track and it drops the frame rates by 10, then it is going to drop the frame rates by 10 whether all 32 cars are visible at one time or you can't see any of them.
Here you can see the race results. The drivers are listed in order of their finished position.
And now I'm going to go ahead and do the spectator mode so you can see how it looks from outside the car. Looks like the frame rate has dropped a bit, but luckily you don't play the game in this mode. Well, I don't. Maybe somebody out there does. And the frame rate's back once we're inside, and it'll probably drop again once we pop outside. But the nice thing is you can always save your replay and replay it on your home computer if you want to. I don't know if Project Cars is going to support the Steam Cloud, or how much it'll support the Steam Cloud. I assume maybe your save game will be on there. Don't know if replays will be as well. In fact, I don't even know if the save game will be on there. I just assume that. But it would be a nice feature if they would keep all your replays and save game and settings and all of that synchronized through Steam Cloud. Otherwise, you can always just copy your replay to a USB disk and replay it that way. Again, I just have to point out how good this game looks even on minimum settings. I say that because as I watch this video, I'm surprised myself. When I first got my Surface Pro 2, one of the first games I loaded on it was Race 07. The game ran fantastic on here, as it runs fantastic on virtually any computer that isn't burnt out. Then I made a video a little while ago of a Assetto Corsa running on the Surface Pro 2. At that point, I deleted Race 07. Assetto Corsa ran so well that I didn't see any need for Race 07 anymore, and haven't played that game in a while. It only cost me 99 cents, so it was no big deal. It was definitely worth it. I've got 20 or 30 hours in it. But it's looking like WildKarrde can now be my Surface Pro 2 racer. I'm glad this red car is battling my AI player through this entire race. I was afraid that the pack would split up and you'd only see my car in the video. This makes it a bit exciting. I guess maybe red isn't always the fastest color. This makes me think of back when I used to run a 560 Ti on my desktop computer. The game ran pretty well. It didn't run perfect. I had to turn down a few settings. I was running it on medium to high. And I dropped the resolution from 1080p to 720p, and I got a lot of performance out of it. So that's probably what I'm going to do as soon as I get done with this video. But there you have it. Project Cars is playable on a Surface Pro 2 tablet. If you ask me, that's pretty amazing. For both the game and Microsoft making such an awesome tablet. And just to show you how confident I am that this will now be my racer on the Surface Pro 2, I'm going to free up about 13 gigs of space. Hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.